Would you like to connect with your guides? How exciting is it to think about connecting? But have you never had the chance? Have you been trying to connect and feel that you can't? Well, Rob and I are here to get a completely different slant, as far as we know, on how to connect with guides, and it might not be what you think it is. So, for one of the reasons that we're here today to talk about this is that the guides have been talking to us about we band about that you be as humans, we want to work to our highest potential and we want to work in a limited, limitless world. And yet, what are we doing? What are we actually embodying and saying to ourselves? What spells are we putting on ourselves? We're still working in a limited way. Let's take this in connection with working with guides and what they've told us. We've been in a session with them today, Rob and I,
Mm.
and this is what they've been telling us. The very first thing they're telling us, Rob, isn't it, is, don't call them guides.
No,
Don't
no,
think that they're an angelic guide and going to come standing in front of you with the wings and all that kind of thing. They may do, but they may not.
no. In
Certainly,
fact,
Rob.
they likely won't, because that serves not very much purpose.
No, no.
Let's wheel it back a bit here.
Yes.
And in terms of the way we've just had this session with them,
Mm,
it was quite eye-opening for me.
it was. And
It made
me.
me
Yeah.
change some of my thinking.
Yeah.
So the first thing we need to consider is when we are asking to connect with our guides, what for?
Yes.
What is our purpose in connecting with guides? And do we understand what the guides, I'm still using guides because I think it's common parlance.
People understand
Okay.
it. Mm,
What is the guide's function? I think it's really important for us to start to understand now that the guides are not, as you said, some kind of etheric loveliness that's there
yes.
to hold our hand through our life and pat us on the head when we feel down
Yeah.
and guide us in that kind of slightly naff sense. These are beings of energy and truth, tapped into universal truth, and they are there to ignite us. So they can read us like a book. They can see our DNA at a glance. They know
Mm,
exactly what we need to be given at any time. They can only give it to us if we're asking the right question or for the right, shall we say for now, download. They don't like download. Fine. Okay.
interesting.
They don't like download. They prefer ignition or activation.
Mm,
I take any of those. That's fine. What they want us to understand more is that when we connect to guides, it is not done in a sense of please may we connect to guides. There are millions of them just sat there waiting for us because they
yes.
know that as a species we need to be upgraded. And there are people like you and I and many of our colleagues
Mm,
and friends and people who work with us who are in that
mm,
on that path.
yeah.
And they like that very much, but they do not want to be approached with please, sir, may I?
Mm.
That's the Oliver Twist approach. They don't like it all. And I think that's a human
Yeah.
default, isn't it?
Yeah, it goes
Yeah.
into the realm of where I would say I'm doubting myself. So I'll
Yeah.
go, oh, I want
Yeah.
to connect with guys, but it never happens. Or somebody else has told me I can't connect. I mean, that's how disempowering it does that feel.
Yeah.
And Rob and I always say we all have this ability. There's nothing different between Rob and I to anyone else. Yes, somebody who's psychic can just have feed into, they can feed into a slightly different realm if
Yeah.
they want to, but it's not to say that we all aren't. That bit, mm, let's call it intuitive rather than psychic. And when you tap into your own intuition, rather than keep looking outside, this is when your own intuition can build a little bridge yourself into, wow, a possibility of actually connecting with your own soul guides, your own higher self. But equally, as well as those that are contracted with you, other guides that, as Rob said, can easily just read your DNA, know your mission and just go, oh, part of your mission is XYZ. And so we can come down, if you like. And I'm saying come down, it's like a projection, it's
Yeah.
just working with telepathy. We've talked about that before. And that's what Rob and I teaching that way is how the guides can work with us telepathically. So they can come through at, at any moment and go, oh, Julie was thinking, just thinking about a question, not exactly tuning into the guide, but we're waiting for her to set an intention. So this is what you're going to do, set an intention to go, I'd really like to look into this more and not doubt the information that you're getting,
Yeah.
and not doubt that it's the guides that are seeing that you've got that open channel to feed, to feed that download, as I would say. And it's
That's
very
fine.
interesting not to call it a download in the future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so this thing where we limit the ability of us being able to connect with guides, and we also limit what it means to be able to connect with guides. I've also heard, seen a lot of people say, "Oh, I don't want to connect. I'm in fear of it. I
Mm.
don't know what would come through." Well, again, Rob and I have always talked about discernment. This is how, one of these ways is how you will discern those guides that are working with us to benefit the universe, the cosmos, and you'll also understand those guides that it's not of our benefit, but is actually very interesting because you'll be able to tell the difference when you work correctly, should we say, when you link
Yeah.
correctly with the guides, won't you, Rob? We
Yeah.
talked a lot about linking correctly.
Yeah. I'm getting also a really strong message while you were talking. Please do not ever say you can't connect because you are already connected.
Yes, that's the
The
thing.
guides are channels of universal truth. The universe is an intelligent, complex,
Mm, mm,
living organism. We are part of it. We are
mm,
already all connected. It's just recognizing the connection.
mm. Yeah,
So that
absolutely.
there is no point in living in fear of it. There's
Mm,
no point in having doubt of it because it is fact. You are connected. You can recognize the connection and use it, or you can just ignore it. That's the
yeah,
human choice. And it's the choice you and I choose not to make. And
exactly.
we
Yeah.
teach people
Mm,
not to make as well. And it's really, really clear to me that the guides are not there to be friends as such.
mm.
They are incredibly friendly and often funny, but they are not our friends. And they
Yes.
come and go a lot more frequently than our human friends might
Yes.
in terms of the guides for different things. So if you take your car to a garage, different people might service different areas of your car. They know
Yes.
different things. The guides are like that. So it's really important that we understand that all they can give us is universal truth, because that's what they're connected to. It's what we're connected to, that they need to offer the bridge
Mm.
between the two.
Yes.
So when they
Yes.
look at us and they read our DNA, and if they understand that our quest is genuine, they are able then to do what we call download,
Yes.
which is
Yes.
essentially
Exactly.
a way of putting some electricity into your DNA and waking it up.
Yeah.
Because it's already there, it's just
Yeah.
dormant.
Yeah, the way I see it, Rob, is they're putting some information into our filing cabinet that is DNA, the
Yeah, there
storage
you go.
that's in DNA. And instead of us then going against the story of, woe is me, I can't do this anymore, I don't know how to navigate on the in the world, it's all about, wow, I have this wonderful idea of how to serve my community. I have this
Yeah.
wonderful idea of what I can do with my family. I've just had this wonderful inspired idea of how I can serve people. That is how we get our mission. So we know that we don't have to ask the question to the guide, what is my mission? What
Hmm.
is my purpose? We've said about that before, and the guides are laughing because the other day I said it to them. I said, "What's my mission more?" Yeah, and what it is, it's just about when your mission goes to a new level. You're
Yeah.
just looking at, oh, what am I helping with now? Where can I go? The question should
Yeah.
be, where can I go now? What's the next direction? And the
Exactly.
guide, and what they're also telling us is the guides will just come down, as I would say. They just, I say it come down because it feels like that to a human. That's my limit. You have to understand that's my limited idea of a guide. They're not coming down, they're just projecting themselves near to us so that we can, it's part of the channeling so we can understand them, so we can get the almost come into our level, but we've got to understand to get to their level as well. But they're coming down They don't have like an ego like we do. They're not
No.
emotional. Rob's just mentioned that briefly, but we need to say again, they're not emotional like us. So again, some people are thinking that something like, like that, almost like as if it feels like the hand of God coming to them and going, there, my love. We adore you. We want to do this for you with you. Not every, some guides are like that, but not every guide is going to be like that. They're just going to give it to you as you want it. It's a bit like I said to Rob, me going into the staff room at work and not all the niceties, just where's the thing that I need for for working today? And they know that I'm fine. They know it's okay, but it's like there's not all the niceties there. And that's what the guides might be like. They'll literally just start. All they want to do is give you the information and then either go away or work with you more. That's all they want to do, isn't it,
Yeah,
Rob?
yeah, absolutely. They don't want to have a conversation with you particularly
No, it's just
of
a
any
waste.
extended level. They will connect you to your higher self where you can have a conversation.
Yes, yes,
And
yeah.
that's then discovering your own truth yourself.
Mm,
And they've
mm,
just shown you the way to do that. But they are literally facilitating a process.
yeah,
And they're trying to wake us up and wake us up faster and faster and faster
yeah,
so that
yeah.
we keep up. And they exist on various frequencies. They're not on one frequency.
Hmm.
We can access their frequencies and we can surpass their frequencies.
Yeah,
And they would be thrilled if we did that because they want us to be there with them
yeah,
on
exactly.
that level. So
Mm,
they're there to help us literally evolve our awakening.
yes.
So whatever they have to ignite and light in us to help us get there, they will do, but only if we seek correcting.
Mm, mm.
So there is absolutely no point in sitting there holding your crystal like I'm doing here, Katie.
You can do.
Yeah,
It helps. It
you can
helps your
do it, but I mean,
vibration.
yeah, it does. But it's they don't want some kind of process of adoration and adulation.
Yeah,
They don't
gratitude
want,
is
yeah,
fine, but
gratitude's great,
because it
but
just
they
puts you on
don't
that
want us to
vibration.
approach them as something superior. They want to be approached as equals.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
And as people who are beings who are there to perform a function for us and want to perform that function for us.
Yeah,
So we need to change our approach with this, with working with not
yeah.
guides, with connectors.
Yeah, connectors.
I
Yeah,
like connectors and they like
yeah,
connectors, although maybe it's not
yeah.
clear enough. But
With other
yeah,
races, is
yeah,
what I want to say. Other races,
absolutely.
other
Other
interdimensional beings.
absolutely.
We're all
And
beings. We're human beings. There are other beings.
absolutely. There is
Yeah,
absolutely no limit to where the guides come
yeah.
from
Oh, yeah,
other races, from interdimensional
yeah.
spaces where they are not attached to any kind of
So any planet or
race
anything. Yeah,
at all.
yeah, yeah.
And we are guides ourselves
Mm,
at some level or
mm,
other, whatever, however we're equipped. We
mm,
do this work as well, sometimes unknowingly, sometimes
yeah.
knowingly. But they want kind of to welcome us to their level
Mm,
so that we can work alongside them as connectors. And they don't want us to be eternally oppressed or repressed,
yeah,
thinking that we can only take little bite-sized steps as we go, and we have to be dribblingly grateful for everything we're given. It's our right. We are connected to this universal truth. So they just want us to step up and
yeah.
in.
Yeah, and in
Yeah.
the stepping up, what they also mean here is to embody. So not just go, oh, I had this great download. I had this, this guide come to
Hmm.
me, and I learned all these things. Rob and I have done that in the past, but you're learning all these things. But that's stage one. That's step one. What the next stage is, what the guides want you to do is how are you going to step up that level and actually embody that information that you've been given. So how are you going to be the living proof of what they've said? So this also is about not just getting some information, a download from them, and then going out to the world and going, oh, I got this great download. I'm going to pass on the data codes to you. I'm going to get this, it's all a
Yeah.
revelation. Going to do it all with you. Maybe you need to just sit on it tight and actually work with those same guides or different guides coming through, the same races, the same beings coming through to you, and then work through with it and go, how am I actually activating it properly by really bringing through the information they've got, really bringing through perhaps it's a collective race that's part of you, and you need to remember. The activation is simply remembering who you are, or remembering all these things that the guides are giving us, because we're source, because we're
Mm.
consciousness. We already know it. We're just humans going through that cycle of remembrance again. So yeah, that is the ultimate. Why are we doing this? It's to raise consciousness, which what does that really mean? And raising consciousness is not just thinking more, but it's about the embodiment of humans being superhumans, because we're not just thinking in a 3D linear time-led society, the way
Yeah,
humanity is, isn't it, Rob? And that's what we're doing it for, and at the end of the day.
absolutely. And yeah, if you are in a position to receive these upgrades or downloads or ignitions, whatever you choose to call them, yeah, your obligation is to do something with them,
Yes,
is to live your life
yes.
accordingly at a higher vibrational level
Mm.
and to share that and let people see it.
Yes, and then share
Otherwise,
it with others.
yeah,
Yeah.
otherwise, what's the point?
Yeah, there's no point
Yeah,
getting a download just saying
no,
this is what the guides have said. I've made that mistake in the
oh
past,
yeah,
so I'm saying it.
absolutely,
I'm saying it
yeah,
because I've made that mistake, and it's like an oops. But we
yeah,
can deal with that, and it is about, well, what does that mean? And you go into that more, and then you get lots of synchronicities in terms of being able to really embody. It might be that you have to do a little bit of 3D work. It might be the guides are then sending you off to watch a video, read a book. But again, you're reading the book to bring in those codes to then share them by being the embodiment of who it is, what it
yeah,
is you're sharing. If you're not that embodiment yet, you might not have the data codes yet to share. And in English, you might not have that information to share.
yeah.
Um,
I'm being told we
odd.
should stop
Yeah, yeah,
because
that's
that's what
fine.
they wanted us to know. It's about
Yeah,
boldness is the big word they give me.
yeah,
Be
yeah,
bolder with this. Be more
yes,
direct with them and be
yes,
more demanding with them. Ask for
exactly.
answers.
I love demand. Yeah,
Yeah,
I love the
yeah.
word demand,
Just
because
don't
we don't like,
pussyfoot
yeah,
around
yeah,
because that's where then they get a frustration level comes in and they
yeah,
move on
exactly.
because there'll be someone else ready for that download.
Yes, they
Yeah,
will. They'll just move to the next
yeah,
person and tell them, yeah, what a shame that would be for you.
absolutely.
So, if anybody feels that they want to work with the guide, and they feel like something's missing, Rob and I know where bridges, we're the ones at the reception desk,
Yeah,
if you want to
yeah,
go.
yeah.
Our company, Shifting Realities, are the
On the
ones at the
telephone
reception
exchange. Yeah.
desk, the telephone exchange, and the ones
Mm,
holding the
mm,
conference
mm.
to be able to help you, guide you in a way. So we're guiding that way to meet the wonderful collectives. We've spoken to a few now, and you would go in, at a deeper level, and would make sure that you would be able to walk away from what we're showing you to connect with us. And we're putting on a course. So anyone interested in that, we're ready to do a course now. So we'll get more details on that. But it's all about meeting, meeting these other collectives, meeting even your higher self, understanding soul, all of those
Yeah,
lovely basic levels. We're making it simple. It does not have to be complicated. But anyone interested, please just reach out to us. We've got our email address listed, and we are going to be putting it on as an offer. Um,
yeah.
Lovely. Okay, and just a last bit, last bit on here is, please, if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe if you haven't already. If you've
Yeah,
already
please do.
subscribed, we are so grateful to you. If you haven't, subscribe, because it allows YouTube to send it to other, to get this out to other people, which is
Yeah,
what we're needing to do. This is, Rob and I want to share this with the world to help us all truly raise our consciousness and truly understand beyond, our humanness beyond the 3D.
yeah,
And like our videos. And if you're listening on Spotify or any of the other audio podcasts, please download and share and like and do everything else that you can just to put this out there. We would be so grateful.
absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
we're doing this for this reason. We
Yes,
believe we have
absolutely.
to get the knowledge out.
Yes,
So if you can help us
definitely.
get the knowledge out, that would be just amazing.
Yeah, absolutely.
All
Thank you
right.
so much. Okay, right, that's enough for this week. We
Indeed, we'll
will
see you next
see you
time.
again.
Yeah.